What's up, everyone? Welcome to the most positive pop culture podcast in the multiverse, Metalcore Nerds, the podcast that features members of your favorite bands as we explore their love of pop culture. I'm your host, Sean Mott, and this week I'm joined by Tyler of Virtue. Welcome back to the show.
It's so great to be back, man. I love chatting with you. It's always a good time.
Third time on the show, but first time in 3 years. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. You're looking great, dude.
Oh, thank you. You're looking
of course. Oh, thank you.
You're looking great, dude. And I want to say this has happened a good number of times, and it's so cool to keep seeing happening. But bands like you guys and other bands I had like very early on in the podcast that have continued to go on and do bigger tours and get bigger as a band. And it's been very cool to see as someone like, I met you through this space and I see you continue to flourish and grow and be successful. And it's fucking awesome. And I loved it. I love it.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thank you. It's so cool. It's like the best part about all of this too is the people that we get to meet along the way. This is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever we talk with our PR person, she always asks like, hey, what are your interests? What do you want to do? And all I have to say is, you already know what I want to do. and it's so cool that that we get to do this, and I'm always grateful to be on this thing, and it's so cool to see you do great things as well. I think I can speak for everybody that's been on this podcast, just to see you succeed and to see you build such a cool community. We have a Facebook group that we get to talk with people and still feel connected, even though it's been 3 years since we've chatted, at least in this space. But dude, you've done some really cool things too, and I love being able to see people that deserve it win. And I hope this becomes one of those things that, like, I know you enjoy it. It's a passion of yours, but I want to see it get even bigger, and I know it's going to. And we're gonna take it there.
Yeah, and trying my best. The hardest thing is fighting the algorithm of it being both a music and a pop culture thing.
Yep.
So I think I get fucked in algorithm stuff because it doesn't know where to push it, which I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm a one-man show over here, so I'm trying to see what I can do to help aid that. But sometimes I get really big guests, and that gets more people all on the show and stuff. And some people just find it randomly, and however you find it is cool with me.
Yep.
As long as you listen to one episode, you listen to a million episodes, like I'm cool. I'm still here. I'm still doing it. So
yeah, it's great, and it's cool to see. Like I said, it's cool to see you continue to progress. And yeah, the algorithm is a hard thing to beat.
Now, I haven't done this with you, even though you've been on the show a few times before. But a thing I've been doing since I kind of reformatted the show about a year and a half ago or so, go back as far as you can remember, to when you were a kid or young adult or whatever. Was there a certain moment or a certain thing that made you fall in love with pop culture as a whole?
Ooh, I love this question. The first time that I ever saw Finding Nemo.
Wow.
Now, the first time I ever saw Finding Nemo when I was a kid, I remember I watched it, and, obviously, like, I've got my stims, I've got my my vocal stims that I have, and just keep swimming, things like that. And then I saw Monsters, Inc. So it's like, it's kind of one of these two things where, like, I saw Monsters, Inc. and I fell in love with the movie. It's like been my comfort movie. It's my favorite movie of all time, just because it's something that it just reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of, we're always scared of things that we don't understand. And like the message, being an adult now, knowing the message of that movie is such a like realistic thing. And just being able to look back on that was, I think, the moment that I really fell in love with just the idea of escaping reality, but in a way, like, immersing yourself in that as well. And then, like, shortly after that, we would go to see Harry Potter for my birthday, and then around November, before the original Dumbledore passed away, like those movies would come out in November, and then they switched the filming schedule, started coming out in July. But for the first 2 years, we went to see those movies for my birthday, and then the Lord of the Rings were coming out, so December, around Christmas time, that was my brother's birthday, so we would go see that. So I think just kind of all of those things being around the same time, it just made me like fall in love with the experience of going to the movies. And then I was like trying to find a job, and I was like, dude, I have to work at a movie theater. I have to. And I just celebrated my 15-year anniversary, actually, back in April. Yep. For working for my company. And that's like such a cool thing. Like I did it just because my parents were like, you got to get a job. I'm like, okay, I'll go get a job at a movie theater. And here I am. And they still let me tour. They still let me, I don't know why. Shout out to my boss, Lexus, and my old boss, Justin, for, just supporting my dreams and doing all that. But just being able to be here on this podcast and talk about pop culture, it's always such like a surreal feeling because it's like I'm immersed in that world when I'm home. I'm always around it. And just being able to like know that it holds a special place in my heart. And I've seen so many movies. Like I can't even tell you which ones I've tried to do the letterbox thing. Nope.
No.
I'd be sitting there for like doing a back catalog probably for like a month.
I skipped the back catalog thing. I think when you first sign up, it kind of goes through a bunch and they're like, "Oh, have you seen these?" And I think I did those.
Yep.
But when I signed up, I went forward from that. And if I rewatch something I watched before, I would hit it's not the first time I've seen it. Like you can hit a button that's like it's a rewatch, because going back I think would be near impossible for probably mostly anyone, to like try and think of every single movie you've ever watched. Like that's crazy. Even if you haven't watched many movies, that's a big task.
That is. I would be curious. I would be curious to see yours.
See mine?
Oh yeah, like if you were to do like a back catalog, I would be like, you. What's crazy is the amount of movies that I've seen, because I was a projectionist for a while, so all the movies like technically on my movie card that I have for my employee card, it's like 650 or like almost 700 in my 15 years.
Damn.
But then you have to take into account for the first year and a half, we didn't have we didn't have a physical card. We just had paper. So anytime we would go see a movie, we'd just write down what the movie was and all of that. So not even adding that, and then all of the movies that I've had to screen ahead of time.
Right.
So I'm in my 15 years, I'm probably well over like 1,200.
I'm at 70 this year of movies watched, but I haven't counted a few. And I think I've watched around 40 that have been released this year.
That's crazy. I got to be honest, I'm at probably 4 that's released this year.
4?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's been such a busy year. Like just like personally, and it's like anytime I was at work, it was like hard to watch movies. But obviously I'm definitely like I'm
underplaying.
Yeah, I'm definitely underplaying. I've seen probably like 15 since the beginning of the year, but like it feels like 4. Like you just said 70 and I was like, oh my gosh, how many have I seen? I was like probably only 4, but no, not now that I think about it, it's more around 15, but my average is definitely well over 100.
Oh yeah. I think I've gotten close. Well, I've always wanted to crack 100 from this year, or from like the year, and I've never done that, which is a lot of movies. But I also watch a disgusting amount of TV. I've probably watched as much new TV series as I have movies this year. Maybe more.
Yeah, I was going to say, you definitely see a lot more TV shows, or I at least see you post about more TV shows than movies, which I love personally, because I don't really have I don't have a lot of time, but like TV shows I can invest in a little bit more, which is like a weird thing to say, because I'm like, you only dedicate 2 hours, maybe, well, gosh, in this day and age, almost 3 hours for a dang movie. But like, TV show, obviously it's longer, but I feel like the character development and stuff, and like the dopamine that I get from it is a lot better. So it's like, being able to like see the shows that you've watched and everything, and the ones that you've reviewed and been like, hey, I got to watch a couple of the first episodes, like this, you're gonna love this and stuff. So it's like I've been able to watch shows because I'm like, oh, I'll dedicate some time to that too. So, but like movies, I think movies, we're starting to get good again. The whole writer's strike, I think, threw movies in for a loop. Whereas like I don't think TV shows hurt or were Just
No.
my opinion, of course, but
Yeah.
I think that the TV shows survived that a lot better than movies did,
For sure.
because the way that, like, how long they are and how much time goes into them, where I feel like movies, they were like, well, we have a deadline, we have to rush these things. And I just feel like a lot of movies suffered because of that. And
Mm.
even big movies that you would expect to do well. Perfect example is the movie that nobody asked for, but it still came out, was the Moana live action film.
Yeah, dude.
That
Oof.
was slated to do 125 million opening weekend,
Yeah.
and it did not do anything close to that. And same thing with
Nope.
Minions and Monsters.
Yeah.
That was slated to do well over 100, and it did not do that. So it's like people are choosing to spend their money on the things that quality. And we talked about this too. Obsession, Spider-Man,
Backrooms.
Backrooms, The Odyssey, like the four biggest movies of at least of the summer, which two of them nobody had any idea that they were going to do that,
No.
anywhere close to that.
No way.
And then the two that people expected to do well are doing even better than what they expected. So it's like people, like, we're starting to see this resurgence, but it's like, hey, make movies that people want to see. Don't Why are we getting a fifth Minions movie? Like, you're just catering to kids at this point. Like, don't do that. Like, Toy Story 5 did pretty solid.
Hit a billion.
Yeah. Like, what was it as, like, was it as much hype as people are like, oh, I don't want this Toy Story movie, but then you go see it and you're like, oh, this feels great, and it's like, having movies like that means so much more, especially to me, like, means so much more, because I get to see people come in and be excited. Whereas,
Right.
other times, people are like, yeah, can I get, a ticket for this? And you're just like, oh, like, that's weird. Like, 5 years ago, we would have a horde of people lining up at the door before we opened. Now it's like people just are trickling in because it's like everything's so expensive. I mean, dude, we went to see Spider-Man the other day, and it was $17 for a
Yeah.
normal seat.
I know.
I'm like, what is this?
I know, dude. It's crazy, and it's like how you said, movies that we thought we were going to do well are doing even better. On the Ages of Fandom podcast that I do all the time, at the beginning of the year, we did like a prediction of how many movies would cross 1 billion this year, and I think I said 6. I had in my head, because I was planning, I was like, okay, what movies are for sure going to make 1 billion? And in my head, Minions and Moana were 2 of my billions, and the Odyssey wasn't. So the Odyssey has taken over and placed one for that one. I think I was actually more hesitant about Toy Story than I was those two, which is crazy because it ended up being the exact opposite. But that's kind of the beauty of box office stuff. And because the Minions franchise has made a lot of money.
Yes,
like,
it has.
An insane amount of money. So this one in particular is like a very big L for them. And the Moana thing is, I think it's hard because the second one did 1 billion last year.
Yeah, literally
just came out last year.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like I don't know. And it's hard. It's like, it's so weird to kind of look at how streaming has changed things for the better and for the worse. It's such a double-edged sword. I hate that people kind of pick a side of both, or pick a side of either, because I think it's really both. There's been a lot of good, there's been a lot of bad. It's really hard to like say it's one or the other, because I don't think it is truly. Because Moana 2 was supposed to be a Disney Plus series, and they're like, nope, we're gonna rework into a movie. And then whoever's idea that was, they're like, raises for you. We just made $1 billion off something we were going to make $0 off of. So big win there. And because there's this, I don't know if you've seen this, but it seems like Disney Plus is moving away from live action shows for Marvel and Star Wars, like almost entirely. I think that's why Wonder Man 2 got canceled. It's not because of like anything else. I think it's strictly a money thing. Everyone is trying to catch up to Netflix. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't think of like, oh, how do these shows not make the money? And it's like, you realize these shows cost as much as a big budget movie, right? Like, they're not cheap to make. They're expensive.
Yep.
And I was like, everyone I talk like outside of like our bubble of like people who are like in the shit of like they love this stuff, they watch a ton of stuff. For like the casual people, they have Disney Plus to like put stuff on for their kids. They
Yep.
don't have it to watch the new MCU show or the new Star Wars show. They have it to watch Bluey or whatever the fuck else they want to put on, or put on Pixar movies or whatever, you know. Like my wife's best friend and her kid, you brought Monsters Inc. That's his new obsession right now, is Monsters Inc. Like we go over to his house, he brings over the remote, and you go over Monsters Inc. and he's like, yeah, you know, he loves it. It's awesome. And it's cool because like anytime we're hanging out with him, I'm like, I'll rewatch Monsters Inc. any day of the week. I love that movie.
Yep.
But like that's his new thing, and that's what kids do. They get obsessed. Like my friend TJ is like, you know, his daughter's obsessed with K-pop Demon Hunters or Frozen or whatever. You know, they like rewatch the stuff crazy, and like that's what that stuff's for, you know. And it's I do like that it's given creators a space to be more original and to take bigger risks. And I'm not talking about Disney Plus because obviously like I guess The Mandalorian could have been a risk, but like obviously that was a hit and stuff like that. But like
Yep.
as far as like shows on Apple TV or maybe other, I mean, HBO has always done it, so it's kind of weird to say it, but like to help HBO continue that trend and stuff like that. Like I don't think shows like Severance would have existed, or at least existed in the way they do now.
Yep.
Or shows like Ted Lasso. Like I was having a conversation with Billy, who's in the Facebook group, and he was talking about streaming and stuff, and I was like, yeah, sure, maybe a network would have picked up Ted Lasso, but it wouldn't be the same show.
Nope.
They would have made it, you know, 24 episodes long. There would have been no swearing. You know, it would have been a very different type of show, you know. And it's not like the swearing makes Ted Lasso, but it feels natural to the show. So it would have been a very like constrained, weird version of the series. So it's like that's what I love streaming about is that stuff. Now companies are realizing, oh yeah, this isn't making us the money we thought it was going to make, because I think a lot of people forget that Netflix built it up over, you know, years, and they already had the infrastructure. They didn't need to go, hey, we need to make a streaming service, so we need to build everything for a streaming service, and then like, okay, what are we going to put on it? What do we not have deals with for streaming somewhere else? What can we put on this thing legally? Oh, are we going to make new stuff for this? You know, like they didn't have to do any of that. They were already doing it. They were 10 steps ahead of all of them, you know. And I think people forget that. And they have more subscribers than anyone. Like I looked at profit, Disney Plus compared to Netflix. Netflix makes 4 times as much from subscribers than Disney Plus. 4
Seriously?
times. 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Streaming is so easy, and I love that it's easily accessible for people. It's so easy for someone to find our band. It's so easy to find all that. And it, you know, kind of the same thing with, you know, with all these streaming services. Like it's so easy for people to find a new show that they love, or a movie that they wouldn't have, you know, seen otherwise. Like I just got a thing the other day, and it's like, oh, you know, this isn't your household. I'm like, yeah, I'm traveling, you know, like duh. And it's like, if my brother watches it at home, then it's going to give him the same thing. And it's just so frustrating that it's like a company that's making 4 times as much as Disney Plus is like so anal about that. And it's and like the freaking cost for this service too, it's like $18 a month.
I know.
Or
That's
if you do
crazy.
or if you do 4 screens, it's 23.
I feel like they have the least amount of cachet in the terms of people talking about stuff from their service. You know what I mean? Like the shows that people talk about are usually never from Netflix. Ever.
Nope. No, not anymore. I mean, now that Stranger Things is done, there is not a single, like off the top of my head. I'm sure like there is, right? But but exactly like what you're saying, Ted Lasso. I mean, you have Severance. You have what's the other S word? Or the S show. The S show.
Oh, Shrinking.
Shrinking. Okay. So there's that one, you know, like
all Apple TV.
Yeah, exactly. And the Owen Wilson show too.
Oh yeah, Stick. Yeah,
Stick. So it's like there's all these shows that I can off the top of my head just think about, and then it's like Netflix. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Stranger Things.
I will give it to them. Most of their limited series stuff, which is usually kind of like a crime thriller.
Yeah, great.
Like they're all awesome. But even me as an avid TV watcher, like Netflix is like the last one I go to.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, even for me, I usually kind of forget about it because again, they still live in the world of binge drops, you know. Yep. And some other streaming services still do binge drops and stuff like that, whatever. But like a lot of them for their big shows, it's all weekly. You know,
I love that, and I love that so much. I I think at first I was like, oh well, then I'm just gonna stay on Netflix because they do the binge drop stuff. But then it's like one of those things where like I won't start a show, right away because then I'm like, man, I have to wait a week. I'll do like, oh, I'll do it next week so I can watch like a
Yeah.
couple, and then it builds that anticipation, and
Yeah.
that's what I miss.
Yes. The
Because
best.
like just think about this, like the whole binge thing. What if instead of us dropping a single our first time back, we just drop a whole freaking album, you know
It's a
and
good comparison.
everybody's like, oh, I'm so excited that you did that, and then they're like
What's
literally,
next?
oh yeah, literally a week and a half later they'll be like, oh, when are you guys releasing new music? It's like
Like 2 years.
we just released an album. What are you talking about? And that's what's like so crazy when you think about it in that perspective, right? Like doing the week thing, it drags it out, and B, they can start filming the next thing by the end of that next season. 6 months rolls around or even a year, then you got that show again. But if you just drop it all, it's like, The Night Agent
Yeah.
on Netflix. Such a cheesy show. It's so cheesy. But like I enjoy it.
Yeah.
However, it's like I watch, I'll do the thing. I'll watch the whole freaking season when I'm ready. Like I don't do it right away. Like I have to be in the mindset or in a good headspace. And I'll watch it and then I'm like, dang, that was such a good show. And I'm like halfway through, I'm like, dude, I don't remember a single thing that happened because I
I
watched this a
know.
year and a half ago. Whereas something like Ted Lasso, I'd watch the episodes or whatever. And then by the time the end of the season rolls around, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for the next season. And then it's like they do the quick recap at the start of the season. And I'm like, yeah, I remember all of this because I didn't consume it all within like a week or a day. It's like you have time to process everything,
Yes.
and that's what I miss about TV. Like that's what I miss about these streaming services is they don't do that. They just, oh, we're just gonna drop the whole damn season. And I'm just like, this, like as a consumer in my head, I'm like, sweet, I don't have to wait for everything. But then it's like, man, most of
Yes.
the time I'll watch like an episode or two, and then I'll give it a couple days, and then I'll be like, oh, I'll watch this again. Go to the gym, throw it on while I'm on the stair stepper or something, like
Yeah.
things like that. That's what I enjoy, and that's what helps me consume it better. Because if not, I'm gonna watch the whole thing, and you're gonna be like, dude, let's talk about this, and then you'll be like, talk about something. I'm like, huh? What'd you just say? You know? And that's what's so bad about it. I mean, as someone that has severe ADHD, absolutely not. Like I have to take my time with it.
It's hard because when I get screeners for stuff, I usually get the full season, but I try to break it up. I don't try to watch it in one day either. I didn't even request Ted Lasso screeners because I was like, I want to watch it weekly. I don't even want to. I was like, I just want to be there and watch it when it comes out. I
Yeah.
don't
That
care.
wait, that comes out like this week, right? Or next week?
I think tomorrow.
Oh yeah, the
As we're
5th, right?
recording tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be so good.
I can't wait. Both trailers have made me emotional, so I can't wait.
I know. And everybody said it's like it's the same thing with like Toy Story, right? They said, oh well, Toy Story 3 was a perfect ending, but then they came out the fourth one, and then they're like, oh my gosh, the fifth one. I'm like, you know what? There's yes, there can be like a perfect ending, but then there's also the part of me where I'm like, I want more.
I didn't feel like Ted Lasso season 3 was a perfect ending. It was kind of a thing where it's the same thing with Shrinking season 3 because Shrinking was originally pitched as a 3-season story, and then they realized they could tell more. Which
Yeah,
I'm so happy they're doing more.
absolutely.
And even the end of that season, you're like, if they ended the series there, that's fine. Like it was a pretty solid ending. They the arcs kind of came to a thing, but there was still like the book wasn't closed. There's more story to tell. And I
Mhm.
think that's the same thing because it's weird because even leading up to season 3 of Ted Lasso, they didn't really say it was the last season, but they also didn't say it wasn't the last season. They were
Exactly.
kind of very coy about it. It was strange. And when people started asking about season 4, some of the cast is like, I think it's happening. And it just took a while to make it work. But I'm glad they did. And I know Jason Sudeikis said they plan on doing a few more seasons at least.
I think it's so cool they're doing it with a women's team. Like I think
Yeah.
that's probably the best continuation that you could do because not that it felt like it was the perfect ending, but it's just like with him realizing like is like, I have to go home. Like him, he's like, I feel like I've done everything that I could do. But then you have that moment where you're just like, I don't think you did. Like, I think
Yeah.
you have more to do, and it's super cool that it's happening, and I'm very excited that it's still around. Like, I just rewatched it probably about a month and a half ago. That was the best thing, because there were so many things that I did. I was like, I don't remember this,
Right.
you know, and it was just like one of those. It was more so season two. Season two, I think I really struggled. I was like, man, I must have been going through some stuff, because I don't remember a single thing from like the middle of the season to the end. The end, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or I remember this. But there was a lot I was like, dang, what did I miss? And just being able to, like, see, especially like with the World Cup and everything going around, like the World Cup final, obviously having Jason Sudeikis and I forgot the other guy's name,
Right. Coach Beard,
halftime show thing, like just seeing how many people talked about that. They were just like, dude, this is so cool. And I'm like, yeah, because we need Ted Lasso. We need him back. And
yes, we do more
I'm
than
just,
ever.
yeah, I'm so excited. I think it's going to be a phenomenal thing, and it's awesome seeing as many characters come back as it is. I did see Jamie Tart do. It was like cool because he was doing an interview, and they're like, "Oh, so they didn't ask you back," and all like instead of responding to that, he's just like, "I'm just excited to see that it's back." He's like, "I think everybody's going to be really excited," and he's like, "I'm excited to watch it, and just be a fan and all that stuff." And hearing him talk too, I'm like, dude, you're such a great actor, because he is like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like in his interviews, but like, during the show, I'm just like, dude, this guy sucks.
Did you watch Rooster on HBO?
No, I didn't. Is he on that?
Yes, it's Steve Carell and Bill Lawrence made that show as well. So same guy who did Ted Lasso and Shrinking.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
Yeah. Came out this year. So but he may be a bigger dick in that show than he was in Ted Lasso.
Really?
He is such a douche.
Okay.
And unlike Jamie Tart, I don't think he's going to get redeemed. It's not like he's like fully a dick. You can kind of realize there's some good in him, but like you still at the end of the day, you're like, this guy sucks. And I don't think they're going to redeem that. And that got renewed for season 2, which is weird because I didn't know this, but Bill Lawrence he's still a producer on the show, but he's not the showrunner of Ted Lasso anymore. So he's not as heavily involved as I thought. And I guess that happened during season 3. So he's kind of like not
really,
he's not like the guy anymore, which he created it with like Jason Sudeikis and the guy who plays Coach Beard. And obviously like Brett Goldstein, who plays Roy Kent, was a big writer on that, which he went on to create Shrinking with and stuff like that. And like Scrubs comes back this year too. It's like the dude's busy enough, so I guess it's fine that he's not kind of like one of the main guys in Ted Lasso. But yeah, I think Jason Sudeikis is kind of like for real the head guy behind the scenes of that. Ooh. Which I didn't learn until like a few weeks ago. I was like, oh.
I think my favorite thing about Ted Lasso, I was talking with someone about this, is the fact that even after 3 seasons, 3 years, this dude still has no idea about like the fundamentals of soccer. And and I think that is like such a cool thing for me, because I grew up playing soccer my whole life. I coached for like 4 years at my my high school, and I just actually got asked to come back and coach again. So right when I get off tour, I'm gonna be the JV head coach, which whoa. I don't know how that happened, but I'm excited about it. And just being able to like sit there and think like, well, hey, dude, if he could do it, I could do it. Like,
right.
I was a play, I just played soccer. Like, coaching is such a different thing, but it's like, I love that they kept with that. Like, there is no, oh, well, I know how to do this now. He's just kind of like, he's like, what do you call that play? Like, wait, what is offsides? And I'm just like, dude, how do you not after all this time, and I think that's like the coolest part about it is it also just goes to show you don't have to know everything about something to get people to want to rally behind you. And it's like, and that's the thing is sometimes pro sports, you actually don't need to be a coach. You just need to be somebody that that just makes decisions, and it's like just take advice or be like, well, yeah, that doesn't look right. I'm gonna put someone else there.
Mm.
And it's crazy. Like I don't think people realize like you don't have to be this mastermind to be successful. Like you could be successful in other ways.
Yeah,
Um
I think the one line from like I think it's either season one or season two because I rewatched it as well like a month ago, and him saying he's like I'm not too concerned about wins and losses. I'm more concerned about like kind of like guiding these young adults into being great men or something like that. It's a terrible paraphrase, but it's the same idea.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, and seeing everyone kind of doubt him and then come around to it, it's such a beautiful thing, especially on a rewatch
Yep.
of seeing that journey happen. And it's funny because it's like I think I like Shrinking better as a show, and I think it's probably more because you connect to it a little bit more emotionally, maybe. But Ted Lasso is like it's like an anomaly. It's magic. It's like pure like that show is magic. Like it
Yep.
should not work. It
Nope.
should not make sense, but it's so good. Like it is a truly a special show that I think people I'm hoping this new season like revitalized because I know some people kind of got weird about season 3 and didn't really like it or whatever. And it seems like the hype is very real. A lot of people are very excited about it. So
Well,
I'm
dude, yeah, even just that first teaser, like, I mean, just the amount of views that it had in like the likes to views ratio was crazy.
mm,
You know, most of the time you see like something has like 400 million views or something like that, and you're like, oh, it has like 15 million likes or something like that. You're like, damn, that's like, you know, I'm just spitballing, of course, but it's like that would have like 100 to 200 million, you know, likes because people are like, this show is so good. I think that's such a cool like comparison though, like Shrinking and stuff. Like it is something that all of us like can relate to in some way, shape, or form. Like it feels, you know, something that we can relate to. Whereas Ted Lasso, it's like it teaches you so many different lessons, but it is like there is no show like it. There's no show that can even
mhm.
be like compare. I mean, Stick, I know is kind of like the same.
It
Like
feels similar. Yeah.
it feels like at least on the same ballpark because it's like, you know, someone trying to, you know, get their life back together or try something different, like go through all these challenges. But just to be able to have a show like that and have it come back and have that many people be like, I'm so excited for it, that's rare. Because at
Yeah.
some point, right, you have shows that you're like, man, this is so good. I wish they would do like 10 seasons. But then like you get past season 4 or 5 and you're like, this should have ended at 4, you know? Whereas I know like there's even just from the trailer, there's no way this show is going to be bad.
No, yeah,
No.
it no.
Yep.
No, I don't think so at all. And it's like Apple TV has bred this kind of, space of high quality stuff. I mean,
Yep.
they have some shows that aren't that great, but it's very rare. It's very rare that a show they put out is like less than good, And speaking in this theme of things that came back and things that have taught us things, I know we've both seen Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yes.
And I would love to end this episode talking about that. So if you have not seen Spider-Man Brand New Day and you're one of the like 2 people who haven't in this world, we'll probably talk some spoilers. So beware and come back after you've watched the movie because you should.
Stop watching right now if you haven't seen it. But if you have, then let's go.
I was hyped for this movie already because it's Spider-Man. Tom Holland's my favorite version of the character.
So good.
I don't know, like just having Destin Daniel Cretton be the director after doing Shang-Chi and Wonder Man, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Seeing the trailers and seeing how vibrant it was and how they were bringing this like new visual styling I would say the MCU at large. Like I don't think the MCU has looked any better than this movie. Like
Nope.
it truly looks incredible. Besides maybe some stuff on the TV side, but for theatrical stuff, this movie looks so good. And to have a street level Spider-Man movie that truly feels like, and I think this is the first. Other movies have felt like a comic book, but I don't think any movie has truly represented what reading a comic book feels like this movie. Like you're just flipping through the pages. Oh, Punisher's here. Oh, Hulk's here. Oh, Yelena's here.
Yep.
From the Avengers. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that where you're like, this feels like a comic book truly come to life, or even them recreating the covers of iconic Spider-Man comics and stuff like that. I was just like I said, I was so stoked, but I wasn't and I knew it was going to be emotional because of where Peter's life left off in No Way Home. It was obvious it was going to be a very emotional movie, but I didn't expect it to hit me as hard and to be as good as it was. I still need to see it again, but I think it's my favorite Spider-Man movie. And I'm saying it with the caveat of I want to see it again, but I've been sitting with it and I keep thinking about it. And it's, I had this really cool conversation and we talked about how I think this is the first time in live action that a movie has conveyed like Into the Spider-Verse did of anyone can wear the mask, especially that ending scene where he walks out of the hospital and he's with the crowd of all these people loving Spider-Man and stuff like that. That was like the first time I felt that in live action of like Spider-Man is for everyone, everyone. And I loved seeing that among the million other things that happens in this movie. That's so great. But Tyler, what did you think about this movie? How'd you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you said it so perfectly. It is absolutely the best Spider-Man movie, and not even just like, No Way Home was one of the best movies for nostalgic purposes, and it brought so many emotions out. I think the premise of the movie was so cool, and everything, and obviously bringing back Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, like that was, we needed that. But this one to be a standalone movie, and you said this on Facebook too. The fact that this was the biggest opening movie of all time, or like, or
Domestically all time.
yeah, domestically all time, and then to be doing Avengers Endgame numbers as a standalone Spider-Man movie is insane. Like,
Crazy.
the fact that Tom Holland, after, before No Way Home came out, saying I'm taking like a 4-year break, and he did, and I'm so glad that he did, because I feel like he is. I mean, he's one of the hottest actors right now. Like, he's in fucking everything, and he's all over my Instagram, and just, but he's like, he is the epitome of what Spider-Man is. And I loved Andrew Garfield. I love Tobey Maguire. I think they both did a great job, but he started as a kid, and that was what Spider-Man was. Spider-Man was a kid. So like, the fact that we've gotten to see him grow up, and it's like, I want 10 more movies with him.
I would love it.
He's fresh. He has such a beautiful outlook. Hearing him talk about the movie and hearing how excited he was to be a part of the writer's room, and just how he has his like own twist in there. But like, this is the first like, honestly, the first superhero movie that I felt like I was playing a video game when I was watching it.
Dude, yes.
Like,
Holy shit.
and that was like the coolest part for me, because it's like the way that they did like the POV stuff, and the way that they threw kind of like that the Iron Man feel into it, of like when he put his mask on and he was like talking to um I forget his assistant's name, but like, how he's like talking to her and stuff, and it's like I felt like I was in a video game, and that was so cool. And like you said, street level Spider-Man, we were getting so far away from like what Spider-Man is, and it's like, he literally is just, he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and he's fighting normal crime, and it's like so cool to see, like, that's how the movie starts, and then it goes through all of the trials and tribulations of like his past, but also just like being able to see, like, go through the 4 years of them going through college, and he's still just depressed, and
Alone.
like, yeah, and nothing crazy happens, during those 4 years. It's like he's just like, I'm bored and I'm alone, and then just all of a sudden everything just hits the fan. It felt like we were living in Spider-Man's world. It didn't feel like I'm watching a movie. Like I said, I'm playing a video game, or I'm just like, oh shoot, yeah, this is like, I'm watching like this happen in real time. This is crazy. It made me feel that way. And the way that the cinematography was, like you said, the character development was amazing. And Punisher, to see that side of him was so awesome. And like, this was the first time I really felt like we actually got to see what's his last? Yeah. To see his name, or to see his like true colors kind of come to play. And I actually saw a video. It was really funny. It was like, oh my God, I want to go back and watch Punisher. And people are like, I have some news for you. He ain't like that in in the show. And that's what's cool, is Spider-Man brought that out of him.
Yes.
You know, Spider-Man brought the Dr. Banner like that we got to love, and like it brought that out of him. He brought Sadie Sink. I forget her
Jean
character.
Grey.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so bad with names, by the way, if you can't tell. But like, but just to be able to like bring her down to like Earth 2 and show her that you don't have to do this alone. I'm just like, what other movies are doing this?
I know.
They're not. Like, and that I think that's the effect of Tom Holland. I really do, because he's just that kind of person, like in everything that he's done. And it's just so cool to have a movie that not only is fun, but there's hidden messages, there's very direct on the nose messages. The fighting scenes were so much fun. Just the level of comedy though too. It wasn't like too much. You know, it wasn't like Deadpool or like Thor,
Right.
to where it's like, which great movies by the way, and I love that they're humor, but it's like Spider-Man isn't meant to be like comedy, right? It's just meant to be like real life. So there's moments where it's just like he's like, "Oh, hold on, like I have to stretch," and they're just kind of like, "Wait, what? Like, are
The
you
best.
really stretching right now?" And it's just like that's just his personality. But he's like, I mean, dude, it's like what, 8 years since, right? Isn't it 8 years since he was in Infinity War?
Oh yeah. 8 years.
So yeah, so 8 years to see him as a kid be like he's still the same freaking kid 8 years later,
Yeah.
but he's just older. Like that's like how cool is that? Like it, you know, you get to see these characters change and get older, and you're like, man, I miss when you were a kid. And it's like, no, he is the same. He is the same exact character, chaotic, saying stupid stuff, and it's like, oh hey, like hey, what's up? You know, how you doing? I think one of my favorite parts of the movie was just getting to see him like wrestle with the fact that he no longer has friends, he no longer has people, but he didn't quit. He didn't change. He kept doing it. He kept going along with it. And then when Jean Grey was like, you know, said the thing like, you know, are you Spider-Man or are you Peter Parker? You can't be both. And he's like, and
Nah, I
dude,
am
to see his eyes
both.
go from dark to like are yeah, from him to like have control over that. That was, dude,
The
that
best.
was that scene. I got chills. I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing. Because then also like when he woke up and then like, you know, you see all the web and all that stuff, and then you see his hands. I was like, dude, I the people that I went with our content person Jeremy, and then I went with Damon. And I remember I was like, dude, this is so fucking cool. This is so cool. Like, we haven't gotten that in so long. Like, we haven't, like, I mean, we didn't really get that with Andrew Garfield. We
No.
didn't get, you know, so to see him battle between like using his technology, what he's used to, and then like finding control over his powers and, you know, his incubator and all that stuff, like just to take that stuff away and just to let him be himself, but also be like, well, I have control over this now. That was so sick. Him fighting all the people in that prison. I was like, dude, what an amazing scene.
So good. Yeah, it's and I just read this today that Destin Dan Cretton said that the line when he goes to May's grave near the end and said, yeah, I decided I'm not going to do this alone anymore. He ad-libbed that. He's like, hey, I got an idea. Let's go film it. And he just ad-libbed. Tom
Really?
Holland just ad-libbed that. And I was like, dude, that because that like I cried a lot during this movie. I'm gonna be honest. This movie made me very emotional in a good way, you know. But like, you know, it all of us can relate to growing up and you know, growing in and out of friendships, you know, like rekindling those friendships, stuff like that. And like even the whole when there's that crazy roof scene, and then it ends up with the climax of MJ finding the letter and you know finding out that like yeah they used to be together and like the I don't love you, I don't even know you, and
Dude.
like her talking about her past self almost as like a different person because like college changes people, it completely changes people, you know,
Yep.
like that's life. You constantly change and it can be for the better or worse, but you know you always hope it to be for the better. And it's you know yeah her 4 years ago isn't the same person, like
Nope.
regardless if she forgot him or not, like she's lived a lot of life since then, and it was cool to see someone tackle that kind of like mentality or character arcs in a comic book movie. And he's like dealing with burnout and shutting himself in isolation and not embracing community. And then you see him finally do that with Yelena and Punisher and bringing back Ned and MJ into his life, and even Jean. That's how he defeats the quote unquote villain. She's not the real villain. Like DODC was the real villain, but like,
Yep.
In order to win the final battle, he used it with empathy, not with his fists. Them hiding Marissa Tomei coming back as May was amazing, and those scenes hit like a brick fucking wall.
Oh my god, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I can say about this, other than obviously Tom Holland being incredible and this being an incredible Spider-Man movie, the way this ushers in the future of the MCU in a way where it services the story at the same time is incredible. If people don't know who Jean Grey is, and if you're listening to this podcast, you probably do, but she's one of the main members of the X-Men, and having Sadie Sink sign on as one, that character,
so good, dude,
is incredible. She did a really good job. They're taking a new approach to her, which makes me even more excited for the rest of the X-Men to come in. The same guy who directed Thunderbolts is directing the new X-Men movie, and the same writers those writers worked on The Bear and Beef are also working on the X-Men. So they got a really, really great team behind that are going to handle that subject matter, I think, very, very well. And I have a feeling that the cast, if some of this rumored cast comes true, and they did announce Samara Weaving as Emma Frost, which is casting I did not see, but is fucking see coming, but is so insane and awesome, and I can't wait to see her fucking smash that. But some of the rumors that may or not be true, there's been a lot of X-Men rumors, so it's kind of hard to sparse out what's real and what's not. But a lot of reports are saying that the cast is very close to being finalized. So if they nail this cast, I don't know, man. This movie's got a lot of potential.
Oh, absolutely. Do you think that we're going to see some in Doomsday?
Not in Doomsday, because I feel like that's going to be very much like Fox X-Men focused.
Yeah.
I feel like we might see some in Secret Wars. It's already been reported that Sadie Sink will return in Secret
That's
Wars.
next year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A year from, so like next December, when they announced Ghost Rider and Black Panther 3, those seem to be the next movies after Secret Wars, not X-Men. So I think they might be introducing a few more mutants in these other movies leading up to X-Men. So they kind of do like, I'll say like the phase 1 Avengers approach in a different way, because they're not getting their own standalone movies, but getting introduced in other movies and then culminating in an X-Men movie, which could be really cool.
Oh yeah, and like Gambit too and stuff too, right? So
yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know who would be in the Ghost Rider movie. I think some people said Nightcrawler, which would be kind of cool. The word on the street is that Storm will be introduced in Black Panther 3, which would be fucking awesome.
That would be sweet.
So we'll see.
I don't know. And
I'm just excited.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, one of the coolest things I think about this, and I actually was just thinking about this the other day, when I was watching Spider-Man. How cool is it that his movie was the first one after Avengers Endgame? Like he was the one to start this whole new, this whole new world. Right. With him seeing, Robert Downey Jr.'s face and whatever in that rain scene, and then now this movie just kind of started this, like it's like it's not ending. It's like basically starting it again. It's like starting a new beginning again, and I think that is so cool that you can have a character and just like the movie itself just be able to make you fall in love with Marvel again. Like I fell in love with Marvel because we're all like, dude, this is Endgame was the end for a lot of our, like, us growing up with it. I mean, 2008 with Iron Man, and here we are in 2019, 11 years. And then now you're like, well, great. Now what are we going to go from here? Like, where are we going to go? What are we going to be doing? And to have that kind of start it. And then we got some sleepers. We got some really good movies. We got some maybe not so great movies. With Doomsday, you got Thor coming back. You got Captain America coming back. But in what capacity? We have no idea. And I think that is so cool that we get this whole different like multiverse, but they're doing it in like such a cool way now.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I'm excited to see, like, I cannot wait for Doomsday. You know what? For a while there, I was like, I'm really hype about it, but like, does it have the same impact? Oh, it sure does now.
Yeah, we are 100% on the road, and
Yes.
I'm so stoked. And Tyler, thank you so much for doing this again, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, dude.
Dude, anytime. Seriously, let's not wait 3 years this next
Yes.
time.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Let's not.
Let's not wait 3 years this time. And
Hey,
then
we can do it. We can do it in we'll try to do it in December, because then Avengers, we can both be like, dude,
oh yeah,
we just saw the craziest movie of all time.
yeah, hell yeah, I would love that. That's let's pencil it in. I
Let's
love that
pencil
idea.
it in right now.
That's a really good idea. But before we get out here, please let the people know what Virtue's got going on and where they can find you for this.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're on tour for the rest of or most of the rest of August. We end August 21st. You can go on our socials, find all that out. Just touring around the U.S. Hitting up the Midwest right now, and then ending in Nashville. So really excited about that. We have a brand new album coming out October 2nd called Death of the Altar. Really excited to drop that. We will be in Europe when that comes out on a tour with a band called Unprocessed and another band called Daedric. That is September 29th through October 10th. So nice little quick 2-week tour. I guess just find us on streaming platforms, but don't just do streaming. Go pre-order our album. That's the best way to help a band like us out. So very excited to be to still be doing this thing and getting to talk to you. Like I said, you're doing great things. I love seeing you do your stuff, and always grateful to be on here and honored to be a part of this.
Oh yeah, man. Always welcome. Always so stoked to talk to you about this stuff. And yes, go if Virtue's coming near you, go check them out. Go see them live. Pre-order their new record. You can stream it, but let's pre-order it. Let's set that standard, okay?
Yeah, we got some cool vinyl. Vinyl. So go. I know vinyl's in right now, so.
It sure is. It sure is. And if you want to support the podcast, you go to metalcorenerds.com. All our links there in one easy space. If you want to follow me on our personal account, you can find me at SeanXMod on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time,
Cool.
see you later.
Goodbye.